All right, welcome back, everyone. Ready for
Oh, absolutely. Always up for a good tech exploration.
Today, we're tackling some pretty interesting stuff happening in the tech world. Looks like we've got a bit of a showdown brewing between Microsoft and Google.
Yeah, classic rivalry,
Well,
right?
then there's this whole mystery surrounding Apple's CarPlay delay.
Definitely curious about that one.
And to top it all off, we'll be exploring how ChatGPT is stepping into the world of data analysis, potentially changing the game for, well, pretty much everyone.
That's the one I'm really excited to dig into. AI is changing everything so quickly. It's fascinating to see how it's impacting different industries.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's jump right in with Microsoft and Google. It seems like Microsoft is, well, they're trying pretty hard to challenge Google's dominance in search, wouldn't you say?
For sure. And they've been using some interesting tactics lately. Remember a while back when they were basically trying to make Bing's search results look just like Google's?
Right, right. Almost like they were taking inspiration from the competition. I even remember the head of Chrome saying something like, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery about it.
Yeah, a little bit of shade there. But recently, they've gone a step further, haven't they? They've started hiding Google search results when someone searches for Google on Bing.
I know, it's like a little bit of a bold move,
Hmm.
especially with that promoted by Microsoft box popping up right above the hidden results. Makes you wonder if it's actually effective, though.
Hmm, that's a good question. It definitely gets your attention, but I'm not convinced it's a long-term winning strategy. Google is still the king of search, and these tactics haven't really changed that, at least not yet.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's like they're playing a game of hide and seek, and Google's still winning.
Exactly. And honestly, I think the real disruption to search is going to come from somewhere else entirely, like AI.
Ooh, interesting. What do you have in mind?
Well, imagine searching for something, and instead of just getting links, you get an AI-powered analysis. It summarizes the information, highlights key points, maybe even offers different perspectives. Now, that would be a real game changer.
Wow, I can see how that would be incredibly useful. Okay, so we've got Microsoft trying to shake things up in search. Now let's shift gears and talk about Apple and the mystery surrounding the delayed CarPlay. It's officially off the schedule for 2024. What's the deal with that?
Right. So to understand why this is a big deal, we need to think about what CarPlay is becoming. It's not just about connecting your phone to your car anymore. It's about deeper integration, potentially changing how we interact with our cars entirely.
Right, it's like your car becomes an extension of your phone, which is pretty exciting. But it also makes you wonder who's really in control, Apple or the car manufacturers?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. And I think that's where we see some friction. Automakers are understandably hesitant to give up too much control. They want to keep their own brand identity and ownership over the in-car experience.
Yeah, it's a bit of a power struggle, isn't it? And this might explain the delay. I mean, remember when Apple first announced this revamped CarPlay back in 2022? It sounded revolutionary. Big names like Porsche and Aston Martin were on board.
And yet, here we are. Those launch dates came and went. Some car makers, like Ford and Mercedes, they were slow to commit. And then you've got others, like General Motors and Rivian, who decided to opt out completely.
Wow, it's definitely been a bumpy road. So is this it for CarPlay then? Has Apple given up?
I don't think so. There are some signs that Apple is still working on this. There have been hints in the iOS 18.3 beta, and even some recent image filings that suggest the project is still alive. Plus, Apple has said publicly that they're still collaborating with car manufacturers, promising more details closer to launch.
Okay, so the saga continues. It just shows how complex this integration of technology into our vehicles really is. There's so much potential, but also some unexpected roadblocks.
Totally. It's a space worth watching closely. Speaking of exciting advancements, let's talk about AI and how it's changing how we interact with data. Have you heard about ChatGPT's advanced data analysis feature?
I have, and I'm so intrigued by it. Imagine being able to get real insights from data without needing to know any coding. It's like ChatGPT is making data analysis accessible to everyone.
Right. That's what's so exciting about it. Traditional data analysis, it can be so time-consuming and require specialized skills. But now with AI-powered tools like ChatGPT, you can just ask a question in plain English and get a clear answer back quickly. This is a game changer for anyone who needs to work with data, whether it's for, presentations or research or just out of pure curiosity.
I was reading about a programmer, and this guy loves building, complicated data crunching routines. Even he was amazed by ChatGPT. It could do in minutes what would normally take him days, even weeks of coding.
And that's what's so fascinating. Right? Even for people who are already tech savvy, these AI tools can be incredibly powerful. But just to clarify, we're talking specifically about ChatGPT's chatbot-based data analysis features here, not the more complex stuff involving APIs and massive data sets. This is about what anyone can do right now with the ChatGPT interface.
Right. And just to be clear for our listeners, we're focusing on the paid ChatGPT Plus version. That's the one with the advanced data analysis feature and file upload capability. If you're ready to explore data in a whole new way, that's the version to check out.
It really highlights how AI is changing things up, you know?
Yeah, totally. It's like putting the power of data analysis right into everyone's hand.
Exactly. And that actually makes me think of a pretty interesting question.
Oh, okay. I'm all ears. What are you thinking?
Well, how will this wider access to data analysis actually change the way decisions are made? You know,
Uh,
think about the impact across different fields like business or finance, healthcare, even education.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are some big questions. It's almost like we're on the verge of a data revolution where anyone with a bit of curiosity and ChatGPT can just, uncover hidden patterns and maybe even make groundbreaking discoveries. It's exciting and maybe a little bit daunting all at the same time.
I agree, and it's a conversation we really need to be having as AI powered tools become more sophisticated, more accessible. We really need to think critically about their potential impact, both the good and the maybe not so good.
You mentioned earlier how AI could disrupt the search landscape. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Like what might that future look like?
Sure. So imagine you're searching for something online, right? But instead of just getting a list of links,
Yeah.
you get this AI-powered research assistant. It wouldn't just find the information, it would analyze it for you. Give you summaries, key takeaways, even different perspectives on the topic.
So it's not just about finding the information, it's about actually understanding it and making sense of it.
Right.
That would be incredibly helpful, especially with, so much information out there these days.
Exactly. And I think that's where the true power of AI really comes in. It's the ability to look through these huge amounts of data, identify those patterns, and then extract those meaningful insights that we might otherwise just completely miss. It's really like having a superpowered research assistant by your side.
I can definitely see how that would be valuable in so many different areas. Researchers could speed up their work, businesses could make smarter decisions, students could gain a deeper understanding of really complex topics.
Yeah, absolutely. Think about personalized learning, right?
Yeah.
You could have an AI that understands your learning style, your interests, your goals even, and can just, tailor content just for you. It's a future where learning is way more engaging, more efficient, and more accessible, which is amazing.
That does sound amazing. But what about the potential downsides?
Yeah.
The risk of bias or misinformation or even, misuse of the technology.
Right. And those are really important considerations. As with any powerful technology, AI can be used for good or bad. It's crucial that we, develop guidelines, ensure transparency, encourage critical thinking to really navigate this new landscape responsibly.
So it's a bit of a balancing act then.
I think so.
We need to be aware of the potential risks, but also, embrace the incredible opportunities that AI offers.
Exactly. It's a challenge, but I'm optimistic. I believe that with careful consideration and a collaborative approach, we can harness the power of AI for the benefit of everyone.
I love that vision. Now before we wrap up this deep dive, I wanted to bring it back to the source material we've been discussing. We've talked about the battle between Microsoft and Google, the mystery of the CarPlay delay, and the rise of ChatGPT as a potential data analyst. But here's a thought-provoking question for you, our listener. What if we took all these articles, the ones about Microsoft and Google, the CarPlay delay, even ChatGPT's data analysis stuff, and we actually fed them into ChatGPT?
Oh, wow. Like, have ChatGPT analyze its own coverage?
Yeah.
And the stuff about its competitors? That's meta.
Exactly. Could it find things we missed, connections, patterns?
I'd be so curious to see what it comes up with, especially, with all this talk about AI bias. Maybe feeding it information about itself could reveal something.
Right. It's like holding a mirror up to the AI. See if it can, analyze itself objectively.
And it just shows how powerful this technology is becoming. We're not just using it to analyze data, but we can use it to analyze our own analysis. It's a whole new level of understanding.
It's like having a super smart research partner who sees things from a completely different angle.
Yeah, exactly. And the best part is this is a tool anyone can use. You don't have to be a tech expert or a data scientist to experiment with this. ChatGPT puts that power right in your hand.
I love that. So to everyone listening, we encourage you to give this a try. Take something you're interested in, an article, a research paper, whatever, and see what ChatGPT can uncover.
You might be surprised at what you find. Remember, curiosity is key. The tech world is always changing, and we're all a part of shaping that future.
That's a great point. And on that note, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you learned something new, got some ideas flowing, and maybe even found a new tool to add to your tech arsenal. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. So